So long as Lucha Libre continues to exist in Mexico, El Santo will never be forgotten. And one way his legacy is immortalized is through CMLL's Leyenda De Plata tournament. This is a reoccurring tournament in which the winner receives a plaque with a mask of El Santo on it. I can't say it's been held every year since 1998 because there have been years when it isn't held, but it is a pretty regular tournament. This year's finalists were Máscara Dorada and Neon, teammates in CMLL's Sky team. Máscara Dorada was going for his second win as he already claimed victory back in 2023 in a fantastic match against Rocky Azúcar Romero. The match was great, high intensity with a ton of insane sequences that showed just how much talent both young men have. And if you're subscribed to CMLL's YouTube membership, I would highly recommend watching this match if you missed it. Anyways, if you look through a list of past winners, you'll see some real heavy hitters. Luchadores like El Hijo del Santo, Negro Casas, Mistico, Perro Jr., Atlantis, and more. And I don't want to say it's always the most prestigious tournament in CMLL, but it sure can feel like it sometimes. In today's video, we'll be taking a look back at some of the matches that crowned past winners of La Leyenda De Plata. The matches I've chosen are ones that I really enjoyed for one reason or another, and if your favorite final is left off this list, please do not take offense. In fact, let me know down in the comments what your favorite final is for this Leyenda De Plata. The first match on this list is from the third iteration of the tournament. The two finalists had quite a bit of history together, and this match would mark their first one-on-one encounter of the new millennium. Of course, I'm talking about El Hijo del Santo and Negro Casas. El Hijo del Santo was involved with the finals of this tournament for 3 years in a row. For the first tournament, he was given a bye and lost to Scorpio Jr. in the finals. Then in year 2, he was able to win the qualifying Torneo Cibernetico and got his win back over Scorpio Jr. to claim La Leyenda De Plata for the first time. Because he won the tournament, Santito would be tasked with defending his place against whoever qualified for the final the following year. That person just so happened to be longtime rival and friend, Negro Casas. On October 6, 2000, the two men faced off one-on-one in Arena Mexico for the first time in over 3 years. Their last encounter was a lucha de apuestas in the main event of CMLL's 64th Aniversario show. In fact, El Hijo del Santo hadn't stepped foot in Arena Mexico since he defeated Scorpio Jr. in the second tournament. Like most of the matches between Negro Casas and Santito, this one felt like it had a lot of weight behind it. Before the match begins, the current CMLL World Tag Team Champions, Rey Fenix and Último Guerrero, make their way to the ring and welcome Santito back to the promotion, and tease a match for the belts. That match actually happens 2 months later on December 12, 2000. Anyways, back to this match. While this match isn't quite on the level of their apuestas, this match does have a lot of what makes those matches so good. High levels of intensity, the strikes hit hard, and both men really shine. The only thing that really hurts this is that it just isn't that long. They only go about 10 minutes, so it isn't the definitive match in their rivalry, but I'd still say it is pretty good and notable. Also, the ending has a very sick moment with Negro Casas proudly raising the plaque, staring right into Santito's eyes. I'm now going to take a moment to talk about not a full match, but a very significant moment in the history of La Leyenda De Plata. After winning the tournament in 2004 and with El Hijo del Santo in the ring, El Hijo del Perro took to the mic and set the record straight on who Mexico's greatest legend was. It was not the man who was out fighting mummies and vampires, but rather El Perro Aguayo, who happened to be sitting at ringside. Barrito says he only won to show everyone who doesn't believe in him that he is the best. He then goes on to smash the plaque with El Santo's mask on it. Of course, El Hijo del Santo doesn't take this lying down and they brawl. And they would have a match to follow this up, but I think the moment itself is a little more noteworthy. The second Leyenda De Plata match I want to talk about in this video is from September 16th, 2006, and it is Atlantis versus Mistico. And let me set the stage real quick. Atlantis had recently turned evil. About a year ago at the CMLL 2005 International Grand Prix, Atlantis allied himself with Último Guerrero to become a Rudo and form Los Guerreros de la Atlántida. He was no longer on the side of good and justice, but rather rule-breaking and violence. Additionally, Atlantis was able to defeat El Hijo del Santo in 2005 to win the Leyenda de Plata himself, so he was the defending champion. As for Mistico, he was well on his way to superstardom. Only 3 people have ever won La Leyenda de Plata more than once, and only 2 have ever won it 3 times. Those 2 people are Mistico and Negro Casas. Mistico and Atlantis had faced off once already back in 2005, shortly after his Rudo turn, and I quite enjoyed that match as well. There's a lot of things I really like about this one, such as Atlantis' black and blue gear. It fits his turn so well. And Mistico is wearing some alternate gear as well, a red and green split mask that I'm also a very big fan of. The action comes very early in this match, and within 5 minutes we see all sorts of spectacular dives from both men. Atlantis hits a particularly heavy looking tope that just flattens Mistico on the outside. Of course, the offense is more than just high flying. This is Atlantis we're talking about. This match does lose some points from me again for the finish. It felt a bit rushed, and it featured a lot of interference from Mistico's upcoming opponent at the 2006 Aniversario show, Black Warrior. Of course, it all makes sense because they are building to that Lucha de Apuestas, and maybe I did like their first match a little better, but I do think this one is significant enough for you to go back and watch. The last match on this list is probably my favorite of the 2010s. It took place on November 23rd, 2018. Barbaro Cavernario against Rey Fenix. This is a rematch from 5 months earlier, which Rey Fenix won. That match is also excellent, and I'd recommend watching it as well, even though it isn't for La Leyenda de Plata. In fact, let me take another moment here to lament that we will most likely never be getting the trilogy between these two, and it will just sit at 1-1. They were great opponents for each other. This is the longest match in this video, clocking in at just over 20 minutes, and it is legitimately great the entire way. There are so many moments from this match that will live in my head until the day I die, such as Rey Fenix's flat back dive to the floor where he bounces about a foot back into the air, and then Barbaro Cavernario's huge caveman splash to the floor, not only from one of the ring posts, but from the stage as well. And this caveman splash is a move that pops me insanely every time I see it. I have nothing but great things to say about this match. There is no, oh yeah, it was a bit short, or their previous match was a little better caveats here. This match is just straight up banging. And in a way, maybe this whole video was just a front for me to talk about how much I love this match. I'd like to end this video talking a bit more about the other matches that served as a final for this tournament. And don't use this video as a definitive list, but maybe more like a gateway, something to pique the curiosity for more of these Leyenda de Plata finals. For example, some matches I left off but are still definitely worth watching include Soberano Jr. and Templario from 2022, Titan and Templario from 2021, Carístico and Volador Jr. from 2017, Felino and Black Warrior from 2002, and Negro Casas against Titan in 2014, and then Dragon Lee in 2015. Anyways, thank you all again so much for watching. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you guys next time.